Climate change is back, folks, and it's back in a big way. That's right. Heat waves are gripping the nation. The United States, Europe, and many parts of the world are experiencing record high temperatures, and they're more consistent. And this is leading researchers to now assume that 2024 is going to be one of the hottest years on record. And of course, what do you think government needs to do in response to this? Spend, spend, spend. Oh yeah, it's going to be a year of spending and a year of committing to more spending. But don't take my word for it. Let's check out first what the heat wave maps are showing. So here's some heat wave characteristics. We know that the average number of heat waves and the duration and the intensity, they're all going up. They're all moving in the opposite direction of what they should be moving in, because heat waves, they're here to stay, folks. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be part of our daily lives. Some more stats that are coming out here also show that the intensity of heat waves are here. This is from the EPA. Heat wave characteristics from it's the same graphs, but in more detail here. Also, heat wave duration is going on for 4 days now, whereas back in the 60s, they were 1 day. So heat waves are here. Now, you might be asking yourself, Christopher, what is government planning to do in response to this? I don't know if anyone's asking themselves that. But if you are, get ready for a couple pretty wild statements. This from the World Economic Forum: climate change is costing the world $16 million per hour. $16 million. And look at that, a picture of a tornado that just destroyed a community, I'm assuming in the United States. Just wild. The global cost of climate change is estimated between 1.7 trillion and 3.1 trillion per year by 2050. That's right, folks. These are no longer weather events. This is grouped together as climate change, and it's here to stay. Now, you might be asking, what else, Christopher? What other indicators of this is government looking to spend more money? Check this out. You thought that was wild from the World Economic Forum? From Bloomberg, $266 trillion in climate spending is a no-brainer. Without this investment, the alternative is 2.3 quadrillion. Get used to that unit of measure. In accumulated damage by the end of the century. That's right, folks. Climate change is destroying our communities, and the only way to solve this is through more government spending. Now, you might be asking what my perspective on all of this is, and it's very simple. I don't want to go down the path of conspiracy here, but think about this. Governments are obsessed with tax revenue. They need to continue to increase their tax base. No government wants to tell you that, but it's the honest truth. Now, no government wants to tell you that we're going to increase your taxes, but guess what? You're going to get more of the same. You're just going to get better roads, infrastructure, schools. Some people might be okay with that. I would be okay with that. But a lot more people want to know, well, what are you doing with all this tax revenue? Oh, we're spending that on climate change initiatives. We're spending that on green initiatives, on greening the economy. Get used to this lexicon, because this is how it happens, right? So forcing people to buy electric vehicles, setting mandates on what car companies need to do to sell vehicles in their jurisdiction. These are all methods of increasing tax revenue from auto manufacturers, from consumers. They're there for a reason, regardless if an electric vehicle saves the environment, which, if you look at all the material used in production, it probably doesn't. But the whole point is that the government needs to increase its tax revenue. So when the World Economic Forum and Bloomberg and all these other media outlets start putting out these stories about how much damage climate change is going to cost our economy, suddenly that flag, and some conspiracy theorists say false flag, is out in the ether. And I think what's happening is the governments are trying to see what resonates. From 2000, 2000 to 2022, the United States went from spending just under $1 billion on climate change a year to $18 billion. And that number is going to keep growing. Republican or Democrat, I think that number is going to keep growing personally, because the government is committed to increasing its tax revenue. And it's going to commit to large-scale international climate change protocols that demand that it spend a large amount of money on these things. So the whole point of this is that you need to be very mindful of what you're reading about climate change in the news. These are extreme weather events, no question. Heat waves are a thing. There's more flooding. There's more extreme weather events. There's no question about that. But the question then becomes, what do we do about it? And if we feel less immune to climate change today, despite spending tens of billions per year more than we've ever spent before on climate change, what will change if we give governments hundreds of billions of dollars more? The flip side of this is, as we're giving governments hundreds of billions of dollars or more in the next 20 years to fight climate change, extreme weather events will still continue to happen. And we as a society will continue to be overtaxed, in my opinion. And the gap between the rich and the poor will continue to widen. So the question I have for climatologists, climate change scientists, others who are very big proponents of greening the economy, is we have not been successful over the past 20 years. And the solution can't be more government spending. Because as we're seeing, no country is immune to the effects of climate change. How will more government spending get us there? So it's a clear opportunity for governments to collect more tax revenue, spend it on initiatives that, again, make no impact, in my opinion, on protecting a society from the impacts of climate change. And as a result, this now becomes something that enters the sphere of what's acceptable for politicians. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think this is real? Do you think climate change, I'm not saying it's a hoax, but it's a way in which governments can collect more tax revenue? Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and let me know what you think about the linkage between extreme climate events and more government spending.